My name is Teresa Lockwood. I reside in Vineland, New Jersey. I am making a video in regards to what my relation to my political views are. They have been the same ever since the beginning, okay, that I basically educated myself on things of to say, I guess, political government, if you will. Look, I grew up in regards to the delusional false claim in a Baptist cult who often taught from their stage of hypocrisy that the claim of separation of church and state. First of all, just want to let you know that's not a law. It's as a child and growing up, I actually could not even take a view on that because I had no idea what they were talking about. And the thing is being in a cult, I actually had to start my education I started when I was 19 years old. And the thing is, I actually had to research all these things because all they did was just speak empty talk of nothing, and then putting all these labels on things. And what does the separation of church and state mean? I do not believe in that. I speak against it. I speak against everything that I grew up on. I have never, ever, ever believed in the false, all of the teachings that I've encountered all my life. And the thing is it's not even that I did not believe in it. It was I just didn't understand them to believe in what they were talking about. So a lot of things I did disbelieve, and I'm gonna actually put that in here real quick. Is the thing, because I've been encountering the Vineland Police Department, and I actually had to teach them. Actually, it was around the whole agree to disagree, which is a very stupid statement. People who speak like that, just consider them as like unintelligent people. And that's how I looked it up, right? And I'm just like, I know this is a fallacy, right? So, the thing is, I've heard it before within churches or whatever. Well, anyway, this is the thing. I'm like, when I encountered this officer in internal affairs, I'm just like, it's not even an agree or a disagree. It's not even, that's not even a defense, or, I mean, it didn't make any sense to me. It didn't make any sense to me before when I spoke concrete knowledge, to give basically an example a number of years before that, to teach, and give an example from my experiences and what I taught my children in regards to that of justice and having a just mind. Okay. Apparently it was just stolen from me, by the way. So the thing is, in regards to, okay, I'm just gonna put this briefly in here real quick. I know I need to get back to like the politics. It is all united as one, truth. But the thing is that I taught my children, that I'm not ever going to side with you if you do anything wrong. If you do something wrong to somebody else and they're innocent and they're right, I'm going to side and defend that person that is right. Okay. So, I mean, it was very, very important to me that I basically instilled these concrete knowledge in my children and teach them this proper way. So, the thing is, yes, they need to rebel against it. So, that's unfortunate. Influence and attack of these evil churches, by the way, and their false ideologies, that is very, very corrupt. So, yeah, they are infecting society, by the way. And I am basically being slandered and lied about by our local Vineland, New Jersey Police Department and the churchy and cults of the Pentecostal Calvary Chapel and Ramoth Church, for about 15 plus years. Okay. So the thing is they keep gaslighting me, manipulating me, and making up their own rules, and then sitting there trying to put that on me. For example, let me get back to this statement in regards to the agree to disagree. I actually encountered that just my encounter in my household again, and it was actually based on I made a statement. I'm like, I don't believe you, all right? So, and I basically encountered that with that I was like, I don't disbelieve you. Okay, I actually can't recall right this second what it was on. I was like, I don't disbelieve you, but I was like, I have to, like, think about that, or I don't know if it was like, not sure really what it was based on, but it was the same principle as that I tried to teach as officer, and, oh, I disagree. And I'm just like, how can you disagree by what you do not know? Or whatever. I said, if you don't agree, that is fine. If you can't agree to something that you do not see or know, that is fine. I said, to disagree, where's the disagreement? I mean, that should, that's original. I haven't not copied that from anywhere else. This is just principles that I'm just encountering, that basically built and created within me when I'm encountering these false knowledge that people come up with that are very, very unintelligent. So, the thing is, no concrete law in it whatsoever. So very unstable. The thing is that, okay, I have my laptop propped up on a pillow, so I'm trying to stabilize it. It's sliding. All right, sorry about that. Anyway, so in regards to, excuse me, look, I'm just gonna say this. I just have so many things that I have to, like, chop. I have to chop a lot of things out of what I say, because I mean, even my hour videos can be like 2-3 hours. So this is what happens. So I lose a lot of saying information about things. So you know what, I'm just gonna go back. That was related to something, but it'll probably come back to me. But I'm just gonna go back to, okay, political views. This is the thing. So I grew up with false ideas of, like I said, a lot of ideas that I could not even understand or accept, because, it was either they were wrong or I did not understand it, so I could not accept it. That's how I actually thought naturally as a child, since I was actually little, where it's just that I did not accept something that I did not understand. Okay, I didn't even have those terms to express it or whatever, but it was just like, for example, okay, all my life I did not pledge to the flag, right? Only because I was not responsive to things that I did not understand, not because I was against it or whatever. But when I was around 12 years old, right, a preacher was speaking against idolatry, okay, and speaking about, worshiping like objects or something like that, right? And then it came to me, like, the next time that they pledged to the flag, that it said, I pledge allegiance to the flag. I never say anything about it, but I question it. So then it became a disagreement, you see? So before it wasn't a disagreement, it wasn't an agreement. So then it became a disagreement, like I was against it. So before, I did not pledge to the flag because I was against it. I just didn't understand. It was ridiculous to me. That's just what it was. I probably didn't even know that word at the time as a child. Ridiculous. But yeah, I did grow up in an environment where it was just like adults did not talk to children. Okay, I'm not even going to the terrible parts, but so in the whole common, well-known thing that people are well aware of, where it's just like children to be seen and not heard. Okay, So, yeah, so it was just like, it's always like a get out of here thing type deal. I'm completely against that. I did not, uh, interact with my kids like that. I believe in completely engaging with my children and explaining things to them and doing things with them and being with them and doing all these things. So yeah, I never did anything, um, and what they did in the claims they said, I never adapted any of it. So I do have an anti-theist atheist who are going around with this little cliche like, oh, you learned that grow up. It's actually, no, I'm actually have a great work that I've been ministering and teaching for about how long is this, 25 years, against everything I grew up on. And I never conformed to anything, not even behavior, anything. Okay? So, and I just want to remind you that, all right, I'm going to go on. So, the other thing is, what didn't make sense to me, as they taught separation of church and state, which, like I said, I did not know even what that meant. Okay? But of course, they're pledging to a flag. Now, I did not make that connection to separation of church and state to pledging to the American flag. Okay? So I'll let you know that. So at that time, I did later when I had to look it up when I was around 19, 20 years old. I started looking up all these false doctrines that I did not understand. Okay? So the other thing was a lot of talk against um, um, well, I'm sorry. No, actually there was like claims here or there that I heard against like politics. Okay. But I had no idea what that was either. Okay. So, excuse me, I have an itch in my eye. All right. I hate that when that happens and I get on video. Okay. So, the thing is, I actually had to look that up. And I just went to the roots and the basic. And the basic is that of politics is basically the governing affairs for the people. Not in the way I have to put it, I have to put different things together. Okay, in regards to, I didn't read this all in like one thing. Politics is the basic. Politics means affairs of the people. Okay, political. Okay, so that's it. No adding on to it or whatever. I've seen a lot of people trying to do this online and change it or whatever, and we're going to get to that point. So the thing is that I was in this church. I basically encountered not people speaking to me directly. I just heard it, like maybe it was in the conversation I was in or whatever, and it was just said like in a class or whatever the case may be, where it was a mentioned like I don't get into politics. So it was like, I don't get into politics. That's politics, or things like that. The strange thing is I'm hearing it from government. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me, right? So, and we're hearing that a lot, like trying to pit politics against other things to control what people say. Oh, that's political, okay? So, look, I'm going to say, let me put this in here real quick. I actually just want to press it for later or whatever. But, they sit there. It's kind of like, like an example would be like now the COVID-19, and then you have the political parties or whatever, okay? Political parties. So, in quotes. And they're like, oh, well, you're trying to politicize this. Or, oh, well, we need to keep this away from politics or whatever. And, of course, the root word of politics is governing affairs for the people, okay? And I basically include the term used for the people, by the people. And my interpretation of that is not a popularity thing. It's more like a for the people, by the people, not to by the people to destroy the people. So obviously that is common sense, and that is my original thing, because I hear a lot of principles being played among corruption and government, corrupt politics, okay, where there's this power play on like people's votes and all these things and like government and all these things. And if it's for the people, by the people, that's a protection against that of what is for the people or by the people that destroys the people. Obviously, what they claim is for the people, by the people, that destroys the people, that is not what it's talking about. That it is destroying the people. Okay, so I don't know if anybody got that. I'm going to get that, but got that. Yeah, I basically did train myself to sit there and speak as if I was speaking to somebody while I was speaking on video. It's really, really terrible. But it's really strange. But I had to alter my mind to actually do videos. So anyway, so the thing is, a while back ago, apparently I was talking political things or whatever. And I've been doing this for a number of years online and getting deeper and deeper and deeper into it. And apparently there was something said about it in the midst of the church persecuting me and the police or whatever. And so this false pastor of the Ramoth Church who persecuted me for, many years, he responds in relating to my words that I have said, and all of a sudden, randomly from his pulpit, this is a cult abuse practice that they do, and sits there and says, "I didn't know there were any how does he say that? No, I didn't know there was a such thing as I was like good politician or politician of truth or whatever the case may be." And the thing is, it was like this. Let me tell you something. First of all, I'm just going to throw this in here. All of these anti-theist atheists, our local police, and these churches are all using fallacies in defense every time they try to speak against me. Especially revolves around the red herring, what is known as a red herring fallacy. I started getting into the fallacies like many years ago. I actually first put it into this group, the straw man fallacy, which was used by atheists. Okay, I was actually the first one to put it in it, so it has not died since then. So the atheists actually falsely used the straw man, not the straw man. I'm sorry. Okay, no, I first put in the strawman fallacy. So these different fallacies got into the group and it's been going on for years. Ever since I first put into strawman fallacy against somebody. They did not use it. So then, ever since then, this was a number of years ago. I'm not saying, obviously, I mean, I'm not saying I that's my work. No, I'm just saying I was the first one to use it in this group. And it basically had like tens of thousands of people in it. So it became it basically just, became very kingdom. The thing is that they do the same thing that church people do. They use like different principles and just try to sit there and speak against opponent, it doesn't line up with the thing. And they're all using fallacies. So, the thing is that it was really strange because like not too long ago, it's just like they're sitting there fallaciously using these fallacies. So I looked it up, right? And yes, there is a fallacy of fallacies. I was like, it has to be there, right? So I'm just like, there's a fallacy of fallacy. So, and they try to use, what they try to do is use the whole no Scotsman, okay, fallacy. And the thing is, what happens is they'll use like false Christians, which is against Christianity. And I try to explain to them, I said it only can be in Christian is basically if it's that of what is of justice, truth, and what is right, that is against evil. That is all through the teachings of Christianity. It's like concrete. That's the only thing it says. So, and they don't like it, but I sit there and say, if you basically are right and you desire what is right, you are actually a Christian. Yes, I have told that to atheists. So anyway, they get, so in regards to that, these are the encounters that I have used in regards to fallacies. So as being kind of trending, but they do the same thing that I've experienced, encountering atheists in the group when they started using and taking my use of this fallacy. Okay, and let me finish my statement on the whole thing because I'm like jumping points. Um, the thing is on the no Scotsman fallacy is that they like to take like false Christians and false teachings and claim, oh, that's what you Christians believe. It's like that's completely against Christianity and everything that is basically Christ taught that is recorded in the Bible, so it cannot be Christian. So that's like illogical. So it calls it an abomination. You know, if they sit there like, oh, that that person who called himself Christian or whatever, that's what you believe, that's what you practice because they're Christian and whatever. So they sit there and like, oh yeah, you know, no Scotsman's fallacy. If you sit there and like, well, they're not Christian if they practice evil, practice wickedness, and sit there and quote and post the passage or whatever, and it's just like no Scotsman's fallacy. I'm just like, that has nothing to do with no Scotsman's fallacy. You can't sit there and somebody impersonate a cop and sit there and say, oh, they're a cop because they claim to be a cop. That's ridiculous. So anyway, back to this whole fallacy that this false pastor um, of Vineland Nazarene Ramoth Church, William Clay, has persecuted me for many years. He basically comes up with a lot of these red herrings and fallacies all the time, which is echoing that of the fallacies of the fraudulent Pentecostals among Vineland Police or whatever, who basically sidetracks things and just makes up a lie to avoid what is happening at the time. An example of manipulative deception would be that of a number of these false Christians refusing my rights, and because I'm actually speaking against the hate crimes being committed against me because I am religious by these false abusive church cults committing hate crimes against me, they sit there and call my crime venting. Oh, that you're venting. No, I'm reporting a crime. This is an actual crime. So, and they're refusing me my rights, by the way. They're basically, a lot of them are basically boasting in how, oh, it's democracy. By the way, democracy is anti-constitutional and anti-civil rights, by the way. Anti-justice. So,